Come on, Jimmie.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Jimmie Johnson. Surprise! They were kidding. Jimmie Johnson is here, ladies and gentlemen. Where's the yearbook lady? Where's the yearbook lady? I have your sophomore picture. Yeah, come here, let me see this. We're gonna take him back right now.
That is the yearbook, yeah.
Jimmie, will you sign her yearbook page? Look at this. Who's that?
That hair is awesome. Eric Jones, his mullet has nothing on me.
Very cool. Now, these people have been waiting here very early in the morning. They got here. They're excited to see you. We've been talking about you all day. Have your ears been burning?
I'm excited. I've seen it on social. People have been here. They've been excited to come out. So thank you for coming to the store and seeing us. I'm excited about the weekend. We have a Tachi on the race car, and they obviously have the booth set up over there. We're ready to go.
It's pretty cool. If you guys are watching on Facebook right now, hit share so your friends can see it. Now, another time that Hitachi was on your car, you actually ended up in Victory Lane in Texas, so this is a good sign for you.
Yes, when the quarter panels have had other names on them, we've had victories this year, so hopefully we get that going this week.
They had a lot of questions. I took some from the crowd. Everybody wants to hear more about this hurricane trip that you took. That was pretty cool to see on social media.
Yeah.
What was that like for you to take a break from your everyday?
It was very humbling to see how many people are displaced and the issues that they're dealing with. At the same time, to get in and help out a little bit also felt really good. I took my oldest daughter, Evie, along with, and I wanted her to see an experience, giving back and helping on that level. She saw plenty on the news with the hurricanes coming through, and I just wanted her to experience it firsthand, and that was something good to do. I had some explaining to do to her. She was very sad to see people out of their homes, but I felt like she was old enough to kind of grasp it and deal with it. But I don't want to say great experience, but it was very rewarding and fulfilling to go down and participate and help. One other big takeaway I had was the two stores I visited. The employees there working were from the surrounding areas and even states away that were filling in and helping their fellow store employees filling their positions while they're at home taking care of what they needed to. So.
Well, it was really a great example. A lot of people were asking about it, so I think we can definitely applaud that. That was cool. So, playoffs.
Yes.
My goodness, there's been a lot of chatter this week. Everybody has opinions on this playoffs, but we've never had a season like this before. So, is it just normal stuff? Everybody kind of is weighing in on what they think, and do you pay attention to any of that, or you stay out of it?
I stay out of it. I can't change anyone's opinion, and I'm glad there are opinions that means people are watching, and people are interested, and people are opinionated, so it's great. I love it. We know what we need to do inside the walls of our race team, and we're trying to find that speed that we've been looking for through most of the summer. We've had 3 respectable races, but we obviously need more. And I think a top 5 this weekend would really give us the kind of the jump start we need to get rolling.
They want to see
Number 84!
You don't want to be at the home plate swinging for a home run and strike out. So you got to set your goals in a realistic manner and then keep chipping away at it.
Well, there's a guy here, he's part of a whole Jimmie Johnson fan club, and they call him Weatherman Steve. And he said he knows the weather this weekend. It's going to be, what's the weather going to be like? He said 80s. Is 80s good? Is that what we want?
Yeah, hotter is better for me. I mean, I don't think many focus on their fitness like I do, so let's turn up the heat.
You're ready for it?
Yeah, let's sweat them out.
Sweat them out. This lady made a stained glass window for you. You're going to have to choose where that's going to go. She's very excited about this. It took her a whole month. Now, have you ever dedicated yourself, besides fitness, to something like that, a project that takes a long time?
Other than family, no.
That's pretty crazy, right?
Yeah, that's phenomenal. So, well, I guess we all have passions and hobbies. That's where fitness has led for me, and Lord knows I put far more than a month into riding bicycles and stuff. So
it's very cool. How many miles this week?
This week's been short. I haven't had a chance. I rode once yesterday and I ran a little bit today.
Yeah, but short for you is?
It was 2 hours, but it was short. I plan on making up a lot of miles here. This area is gorgeous, and I love to pedal. Plenty of hills to go up, but I love this area for riding.
Yeah, you don't ever have a cramp in the car? You don't ever feel like a hamstring going or
I've
anything?
had cramps when I've trained hard the week of, and then cramps when I haven't. It's that's a bit too personal, but I'm a very salty sweater and trying to keep that balance right. And thankfully I have Gatorade as a sponsor to help me kind of work through some of those issues. But if my salt gets too low, it doesn't matter how much training I've done. I'll lock up, and I can vividly remember running Bristol 2 years ago, and the arches of both of my feet cramped for like 300 laps at Bristol.
What do? You
can't do a thing. It's terrible. I'm just sitting there grinding my teeth, driving with my arches of my feet just locked.
Yeah, and you can't. It's not like you can stop, right? You
no. The gas pedal, you can at least push it on the straightaway and kind of flatten it out and help it. But the brake pedal foot just sat there, and my toes were like all pointing in different directions. It was terrible.
Thank you guys for watching on Facebook. If you are tuning in, hit share right now so your friends. Jimmie's actually going to take over Facebook in a few minutes, and he's going to be taking some questions. Now, this is one thing I like about you. You actually get involved in social media. I know that because I've been there when you've been firing off tweets. You are the guy that actually is sending the tweets off. Do you block people ever?
You know, I haven't blocked anybody. I don't know what good it's gonna do, you know? I mean, I do enjoy finding somebody that says something, and if I can, retweet it, quote tweet it, and maybe make fun of them, and let the others jump
Dish it back a little?
That does very well, and before you know it, the original tweet they sent to you is deleted and gone, and they're then hiding or defending themselves. Hey, I was joking. Where's your sense of humor? I'm like, well, where was yours?
Where was yours? You said this. I think we got some fan questions. Now, I was going to ask you, when I was walking around, there's some cars. Hold your car up if you have a car. What's so interesting to me is that you've had the same crew chief and sponsor for so long. That's not very common in our sport. Has that been like a relief for you? Is it something you take for granted, or is it? It's amazing, actually, when you think about it.
It's totally amazing when I think of my life, personally, professionally. The same people have always been in it. I've had very long relationships, personal life, work life. So this really is the perfect environment for me. I know that some teams have a high turnover rate, and I think that would, in my career, or throughout my career, would have been bad for me.
Yeah.
So to have this longevity with one team, one sponsor, the only vehicle I've ever driven is a Chevy. And all these things really kind of fit and have created the situation.
Well, they said, ask him what kind of fancy car he has. I said, he drives an old beater truck around Charlotte. What is that truck you have?
It's a 51 step side. It's the 5-window cab. I drove it all the time, but the need for car seats came up about 7 years ago, and I can't drive it as often as I'd like.
I see it out sometimes, though.
Yeah, I do have a Woody wagon that I can fit car seats in, and that one's fun to drive.
We have some fan questions here. These are coming from Facebook. Which of your 7 championships was the most challenging for you to win? Is there one that you remember really grinding it out for? I mean, I think any championship, obviously, is hard to win. Can you rank them like that?
Yeah, for me, I put so much on the first one as the most difficult. I had no clue I would win 7 and that I could relax and it would come, so 04 we're close, 05 we're close. We're in the 2006 season for our first championship. We come to this race to start the playoffs, crash a Sterling Marlin early in the race and finish 37th. And I'm like, well, there goes another chance. I had no idea that the others would make so many mistakes and let us back in and have a shot at the championship. So, other data points I had was Mark Martin being so close to a championship for so long. And I'm like, man, I'm heading down that road. I'm going to be the Mark Martin guy. The next Mark Martin did not win a championship, but things took off, and we were able to get that championship won, and then obviously a lot more since.
Which is amazing. How do you let a race go? A lot of people have played sports before. It's hard sometimes when you have a bad game or a bad race. How do you learn to move on from it?
I think it's something you learn when you're young and growing up through the ranks and racing. My parents, to a certain degree, racing for us was our family. There you go.
We heard you.
It was our family. It's what we did as a family. So there was a part of it that was fun. It's what we chose to do. I was very dedicated and focused on racing. I have 2 younger brothers, and my middle brother, he would rather play in the creek and make mud pies than ride. And my dad was like, well, if you don't want to ride, you don't have to. So for me, it started off as a passion, and it's stayed in that space, and I really kind of operate from that space till today.
I like that. Favorite NASCAR track and why?
Outside of Lowe, New Hampshire's track.
The Monster, right?
The Monster Mile. There's nothing like that track. The straightaways are elevated, or the straightaways are higher than the turns, and you literally jump into the corner, hit the banking, and then have to climb back up on the straightaway and do it again. It's awesome.
How do you feel about the new body style?
think you're looking pretty fit.
So I asked Jimmie one day, I'm like, how do I get to like be in good shape like you? He's like, well, how much are you running now? I'm like 2 minutes a week. He's like, anything more than that, you're on your way. It's hard, right? But there was a time when you weren't working out all the time. Do you remember just switching where you're like, I need this in my life now. I have to stay fit because it's part of you now.
Yeah, I slowly migrated that direction. It took a few years, but honestly, I look at photos and I'm like, man, is that how many chins I really have? I'm gonna get in shape. And of course, I chased it really far. But back to your original question with the Camaro that's coming out.
Yeah, everyone's asking.
We're in desperate need of it. You know, that's the first change for the Chevrolet brand since this new generation car has come out. I think Toyota's had 3 generations or 3 iterations. Ford's on 2. We're still same engine, same body, and we feel like we're a little behind just based on what we've been allowed to bring to the track. And next year we're going to bring a real awesome car.
Yeah, it's been very interesting to see. A lot of people, there's a lot of talk about it, but I mean, every manufacturer has some wins this year. Is that more exciting of a season? Because everybody has to kind of step up together.
Which hat do you want me to wear? What's good for the hat or what's good for me?
Well, I'm really into the competition psyche. Like, I like to see what that's like for you because something has kept you hungry every single year.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, the competition, there's nothing like it. The Cup Garage. I mean, the Cup Garage is so intense. That's what I think makes our 7 championships so special and why there's only been 3 to get to that point. It is so difficult when you have all the variables that we deal with. Goodyear is constantly changing their tire construction and tire compound. NASCAR is constantly changing the rules. The tracks are evolving and changing. We now have asphalt technology that's evolving and changing the way the tires interact and really not mess things up, but just change the game the way we go about it. So it's just tough to stay on top.
Yeah, but it's fun. You're still having a great time. You're enjoying it, right?
It's more fun when you win.
Do you have any pre-race rituals? Is there something you have to do every race day?
No, I was much more superstitious when I was younger, and now there's really nothing. Just eat and stretch.
Well, let's talk about food. I don't know if a lot of people know you recently went into the restaurant business. Everybody's asking me about this queso dip. Explain Southern Cal cuisine. What's Southern California cuisine? Because we have a guy here from El Cajon. Where is he? Steve, the weatherman's from your hometown, and he was telling me best food ever. You guys have good food. What's a Southern cuisine?
Well, I mean, it's a taco shop, so you know there's lots of street tacos in Southern California, especially trips to Mexico, and we wanted to do a simple concept in this particular area in Charlotte. My partners and good friends have a barbecue restaurant next door, so we felt like we didn't want to be in competition with. We wanted to add to and create this kind of scene and vibe, and we have live music a couple nights a week. And we're serving tacos, they're serving pork, sandwiches and brisket and stuff, and it's just a fun place to hang out.
So if people happen to be in Charlotte, you recommend maybe making the trip out that way?
I would say so, and if you're over 21, our bar guy is crushing it. There's great drinks to have.
Now, I went to the Hendrick Museum for the first time this year. I'd never been before. There's a lot of great memories in that museum. Is there a paint scheme or a car of yours that you hold dear that you're going to want to have someday?
The Power of Pride paint jobs have always been really cool, and we've won with them in the month of May. I saw somebody hold up the tribute car to the plane crash, the Always Remember car. That
you can pick them out in the crowd.
Yeah, I saw the hood of it. You never forget that car. I mean, that one makes me smile the most, and it makes my heart hurt the most at the same time. We won the race today. We lost those 10 people on the aircraft, and then went to the track the following week in Atlanta and won again, and really started the healing process in Victory Lane with all of Hendrick Motorsports. So I really look back on that paint scheme.
Speaking of Mr. Hendrick, is there a piece of advice that he's given you that you'll never forget? I imagine every time I see him, I ask him something just because I want to talk to him, and he's your guy, right? So does he ever take you aside and say, hey, this is something I want you to know?
Just to summarize my experiences with him, he firmly believes in the power of people. It's how and he's somebody you want to work for, and he uses his strengths, hires others to come in around him and fill in the areas that he doesn't feel as strong, and he just focuses on relationships. And it doesn't matter if it's personal and professional, and what separates any company, any race team, any individual. It's relationships around them and how that works.
That kind of reminds me of Lowe's. I feel like you look around right now, the best, they have a team. It's a very team spirit. When you walk through the stores, do you kind of get that feeling too?
Oh, without a doubt. It's been so cool over the 16 seasons to see the core values between HMS and Lowe's. It's probably why the relationship started. I wasn't in those early meetings when Hendrick Motorsports was selling to Lowe's. I came in kind of at the end, but the core values, they overlay one another.
You know your way around pretty good though.
I do. Now I do, for
you know
sure.
your way around pretty good. All right, guys, we're going to still stay on Facebook. He's actually going to be taking the questions, so if you guys have your phones, head over to Team Lowe's Racing right now. We're going to hand you the phone, and you're going to, good luck. I don't know.
Thanks.
You're gonna
see how this goes.
So let's hear it for Jimmie Johnson.
Signs up as he walks around. He said, "Going to the table."